Okay, let's see a show of hands. Who of you viewers out there use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto? I'm gonna put both hands up for a quick second because every vehicle that I drive that has it in it, I'm gonna use it. I just find it so handy for navigation, of course, real-time traffic, messaging, and of course, streaming audio, and even using it for, my phone calls. Well, in this 2004 Acura TL that I'm driving, which is mine, I absolutely love this vehicle. It doesn't have any of that at all. Neither does any vehicle in this era at all. So what do you do if you want all those features in an older car? Well, you get a device like we have here, which is from Carpuride. So it's a touchscreen that has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You can stream audio, video, YouTube on it. And this one even has more up its sleeve. It actually has a dual channel dash camera as well as a backup camera included with it. So it's a huge deal. And the beauty of it is that this is not gonna break the bank. So let's get going. I seriously really dislike things that are complicated and hard to set up. I just don't have the time nor the patience for that. And this Carpuride system couldn't be any easier. You can literally set it up in a couple minutes. Out of the box, hey, you get that 9.3 inch screen. It's 1600 by 600 resolution. It's a touch screen. And yes, that is a camera on top. As we said, this does have a dash camera built into it. You also get that rear view camera with it. You get a couple mounts. You can use a suction mount to the windshield, which I've got it right now, or they even give you adhesives and a base plate that you can either suction or stick it to your dash. I would do that normally, but on this car, I have a center speaker right in the middle, so I don't want to actually cover that speaker up. So I'm just using the suction mount. That's as easy as it is. You go and you plug it into your 12-volt outlet, and it has an additional USB on that 12-volt plug, which is a bonus, so you don't lose out. In this case, you actually gain a USB because this car didn't come with USB when it came out, so that's also a bonus. And it powers on. You go into your phone's Bluetooth setting, you look for Carpuride, you select it, it asks you, it prompts you, is this the one? You hit OK, you pair it just like you would normally pair any Apple CarPlay or Android Auto device. That's it. Next thing you know, it comes up, it pops up, there you go, you are ready to go. That's how simple it is. We talked about streaming on here. Hey, just go into your regular main menu of the smart screen and you're going to go and disconnect your CarPlay or Android Auto first. So you disconnect your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth on your cell phone, and then you're going to select either AirPlay or Android Cast. Then you're going to go back into your phone and select the particular Wi-Fi. Password will be 1234567 and you're going to go into your control center, select your mirroring, and now it's going to mirror exactly what's on your phone. The only thing that it does not work though is Netflix, and this is not just for Carpuride, but any other of these devices that I've actually tested. Netflix doesn't work on any of them. It must be a licensing copyright issue, but YouTube actually does work, which is great. We can watch a YouTube video right here. Super, super simple. And that's it. When you're done, you're just gonna disconnect and just gonna go right back into your CarPlay if you want. Now, I'm going to go and use the backup camera right now, which this vehicle needs badly, and I'm so glad that we have it. There we go. Now, to install this backup camera, all you have to do is you have to go and use, if you have a voltmeter, for instance, find the wire that's connected to your reverse lights in the back. You might have to pull off some trim to find the reverse light. Get someone to help you when you put it into reverse, and when you get power to that particular wire, when you put it into reverse, that is the wire that you're going to splice the red wire of the camera to that wire, and you're gonna make it all neat however you want. You're gonna run that wire through however, every vehicle is different, and you're just gonna plug it into the side of the Carpuride smart device, and that's it. Now, from now on, when you put it into reverse, you're going to get an image on there for your backup camera. You can also adjust the lines. I haven't really played with that. I don't really care about that too much. And of course, that is also going to work as your rear camera for your dash camera. Now, to access the dash camera, very simple. You have your smart screen icon, which is your main menu to get out of your CarPlay or Android Auto, or there is this icon, this kind of the dot that has a kind of like a quick menu, and you're going to select the shutter icon, and you can swipe back and forth from split screen to single screen for front or the rear, and it's going to start saving the videos as soon as you start it up. If you tap it, you can see there is a red icon. If you want to lock the video, there is a lock button. So I'm just gonna go here and it's gonna say locked video. These are very generic functions for all dash cameras, really. And yeah, so this camera, you can actually raise it up and down. And for the front camera, you can rotate it. So here, I'm going to swipe it so I can see myself now. It's not probably centered, but I can move it there. All right, that is a very, very unique function, even between other cameras and smart devices out there similar to this that have a dash camera, that this one actually can rotate. So maybe you're on a road trip, you want to document it with your family or things, you could actually record that. Maybe you're a rideshare driver. This might be a little bit big for a rideshare though, but hey, the option is there for sure. Now, there are two versions of this particular 9.3-inch screen, one with just this front camera and one with that rear backup camera. And it's up to you. If you don't need that rear backup camera, you don't have to get it. You're gonna save yourself $30. If you have a vehicle like this that doesn't have a backup camera, I highly recommend it. Is it as good as an OEM one from the manufacturer? Absolutely not. But it is definitely better than nothing, for sure. It's great. Plus, you know, even if you didn't want to use that camera for a backup camera or even a dash camera, you could use it to record, you know, maybe, like once again, if you want to use it for rideshare, you could mount that camera up on the ceiling if you want and use it as a second channel. So the options are really, really there. It's a really good deal for 30 bucks. The cameras record at 2.5K resolution, and once again, settings are very generic. You set what interval you want, 1, 2, 3, 5 minutes of what loop that you have on here. There is a shock sensor, so it'll automatically lock that video, and you can adjust the sensitivity of that. Now, to play back, you can actually get an app and use the system here to send it to your phone by Wi-Fi, and you can watch it through your phone. You can watch it through the device itself, or you can just take that included 64 gigabyte card and put it into your computer and watch it that way. I usually like to do that. It's just easier than all this type of streaming, but that's just me. The very first time I reviewed one of these Carpuride devices, the most common question I got in the comments was, how do you get the sound out of it? And I can't believe I forgot to tell you in the video. Well, I'm definitely not gonna miss it this time. So there are 4 methods to get the sound out. The most common one is by FM frequency. So you hit your source, or how you're gonna get out. You hit FM, you select a free frequency. You'll set the same frequency on your car stereo, and it just comes through. So what I do, I have a preset of that one on my stereo, and that's it. That's how easy it is. Number 2 is if you actually have an auxiliary in on your audio system, you can wire it, auxiliary in, they include a cable and wire it directly. Wiring is always the best, just because there's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no doubt you're gonna get a good connection. The third way are through the speakers built in to the unit itself. They're not really powerful. They're like 2 watts, but hey, they're good enough that if you're using it for voice commands or for the phone, you can actually hear it, no issue at all. And the fourth way is by Bluetooth. If your vehicle has Bluetooth capability, then you can actually hook it to your Bluetooth and it'll play through your Bluetooth on here. So those are the 4 ways. Once again, FM, the simplest way. So are there any downsides to this new smart device? Yeah, there are a few in my opinion. First of all is this screen, yeah, it's nice and clear and it's really wide. It's like an ultra wide screen. However, it is wider than 16:9. So these cameras are 16:9. When you're viewing it live, let's say I'm looking at the image right now, or even my backup camera, the image is stretched because it wants to fill the screen. And don't worry though, because what you're recording on the dash cam, here are some of the clips, it records at regular 16:9, but viewing it live, it stretches it. I wish they would actually display it in the correct aspect ratio, especially for that backup camera. It would just be a little bit more accurate for sure. That's one thing. Number two is, like the other models they have, this one's a little bit easier. However, I still find that it's not the easiest to hook the unit up to the mount. And yeah, you may not take it on or off at all. Then it's not an issue. But for me, you know, whether sometimes you may actually want to actually switch cars, maybe you have a classic car, you want to use it for on the weekends and use it for that car, you might take it on or off, just buy a couple different mounts. It's really hard, depending on how far your windshield is too, it's hard to get it and line those 4 pins up and get it there. I really wish they had some sort of like maybe even a magnetic mount or a slide-on mount that was easier so you could take it on or off. And it's really handy also if you're parking in areas that they might not be the best known areas, and you just want to take it off. That way it doesn't invite thieves to smash your window and grab that. I'm not even concerned about the cost of the unit. I'm concerned of the cost of replacing these windows. And the third thing is that I wish that you would be able to flip this around, let's say go upside down. So that way you could decide what side the cables would run. Right now, the cables on a left-hand drive car, they're running on the left-hand side of the unit. I would prefer them to be hooked on the right side because I could run it neatly down here, and that's a side where my 12 volt is as well. So it's a little bit messier here. Yeah, so that would be a nice thing if they would just allow you to flip it and then just have a setting in there in the general menu that you could just flip the image. Maybe there is, I haven't been able to find it. So those are just my 3, they're kind of minor things. The one major thing, I really wish that they could correct that aspect ratio for sure. So final thoughts? Well, if you want to give your older car an easy tech makeover for cheap, it's so hard to go wrong with one of these devices. Seriously, these things are changing the landscape of car audio connectivity, and not to mention, car safety, having the built-in dash cams in them all in one unit. And the best thing is they're so simple to hook up, virtually no install, and the ease of use is incredible, and they are cheap. Like, these are super, super inexpensive. It's crazy. And you know what? If you don't want it with any of the cameras, it'll even be cheaper. So if you are interested in one of these units, or even one without the dash cam, or anything that they have to offer, I'll leave a link in the video description, as well as a discount code. Everyone wants to save some money, and I'll update it every once in a while whenever there are certain deals. Sometimes on holidays they have certain deals. I will put links in there as well. So what do you think of these type of units? Would you have one for your older car? Leave a comment below. Thanks, and I really hope to see you on the next Everyday Review. Ciao.